Hi, I'm Lisa Rangel with Chameleon Resumes. We are the premier executive resume writing company, and today I'm going to speak with you about the mid-year career goal review. I'm going to give you a checklist actually, and I want you to take the time to review how you've been doing the last 6 months and compare that in conjunction to the goals that you set in January. So this way you can see where you're ahead, where you're behind, and what you have to shore up for the next 6 months to make sure that you hit your goals in December. So, this isn't necessarily meant specifically for your performance review. However, if you have one coming up with your boss, this exercise, this checklist will help. But this is really meant for you, and you should do this whether you have a performance review coming up in the immediate future, because it's really about you determining if you are on track to hit your goals for the year, and less about what you're doing for the company. This is really meant for you to have a self-reflection, a self-evaluation process that you really should give yourself the time to do during this 6-month period, this mid-year point to evaluate where you're at on your goals for your career. So with that said, I want to also just remind you, if you haven't yet, to subscribe to this Chameleon Resumes YouTube channel. I'd like for you to take a moment and just subscribe. Right below this screen is the button that you will find to subscribe to the channel. And this way you'll be notified every time I put up a new video, which is once a week. So, all right, so as we come up on a long weekend, like I said, I encourage you to take an hour or so to, evaluate where you're at. And this 6-month, mid-year career goal review, this checklist that I'm going to give you, is going to help you do that in 5 different areas of your career. So let's jump in. So first, I want you to write down what achievements you have had and what you've accomplished in the last 6 months. I want you to look at, where you made money, where you saved money, where you streamlined a process, where you may have mitigated risk, where you have contributed to the company culture or led an initiative. These are the types of topics and achievements that you want to make sure that you're recording. And you need to do this on a regular basis, but at the absolute minimum, you want to do this every 6 months. It's too hard to remember otherwise. I even encourage you to do this every 3 months. But we're here at a 6-month point for the year, so that's where we're at. But you really should do this on a regular basis, because it just gets harder and harder to remember what you've accomplished, and you don't want to lose, those wins that you've had. So that's what you want to do that. Second, I want you to outline the challenges that you've overcome and that you've experienced. So I want you to put these in a separate item on this list, because, it's one thing to put down what you've achieved, but you also need to articulate where you've started, what you encountered as a challenge. It could be a mistake you made, and now you're owning it and showing how you've turned it around or what you've learned from it. It could be also a situation that you inherited, whether it's, a geopolitical situation that your company had to face, or, that affected business, economic situations that your company faced. Again, nobody's fault, but your company had to deal with it, and maybe you specifically had to deal with an aspect of it, and you still have shown how you thrived despite that challenge. So you want to articulate the challenges that you've experienced, again, whether it's something you inherited or a mistake you made, and show how you turned that around. So you want to make sure you do that as well. The third area that I want you to look at is look at the professional development and skill enhancement that you have engaged in it over the last 6 months as well. So you want to make sure that you do that, and make sure that you look at not only the the skills that you've had and need. You want to then look at the ones that you need based on either a career change or a promotion or a new area that you want to do in correlating to your goals. So you want to make sure that you do that as well. So look at, whether it's conferences you've attended, certificates you've obtained, ongoing education, working one-on-one with a coach that has helped you develop maybe management, certain management skills. These are the areas that you want to make sure that you take an inventory of. So this way you can use this information whether you're interviewing internally or externally for certain roles. You want to make sure that you have all of that itemized to show the development that you've done over the last 6 months. And then make sure you also compare, based on the goals that you've set yourself for the year, where are you at in making sure that you have the skills and professional developments that's needed, that is going to be needed to achieve that goal at the 12-month mark. So, do that audit to see where you're at with that. Fourth item, or the fourth area that I want you to look at, are your connections. I want you to do a connections review and look at who you've met in the last 6 months, who you want to meet in the next 6 months. I would look at relationships that you've had and over the last 6 months, ones that you want to deepen further, ones that you have nurtured, ones that you want to nurture. And frankly, there might be some that when you really look at it, you don't want to nurture. You don't want to spend any more time with certain individuals. Maybe you're just not helping each other. It's not, maybe the relationship took its course. It may have outgrown itself. There may be actually negative aspects to that relationship, and it's just something you need to take a step back and separate yourself from. So I would do a connections audit, a relationships audit review, and see, based on the goals you have, who you want to meet, who you want to nurture a relationship with, and who you may need to distance yourself. And then I would also add to that, write down some individuals who you want to help, and make a concerted effort to reach out to them in order to make sure that you're not just being selfish and looking what people can do for you, but I would put on your list relationships you can nurture and where you can add value to them, assuming they want it, obviously. And this way, you're looking at it from a two-way street, not just taking, but making sure you're giving. You always want to make sure that you're giving. So, and then, fifth item is really just the overall audit. Are you on track? Based on the goals that you've set for yourself in January, where are you behind? Where are you ahead? And what adjustments do you need to make sure that you are on track for hitting that goal in December? The other thing too is to look at, are the goals serving you? Is there any specific goal that needs to be removed, or have situations changed to a degree where you need to add a specific goal? Even though it's mid-year, add a goal and have a goal that could be achieved within 6 months, the next 6 months. So not just see if you're on track for the goals that you set in January, I would also take a step back and make sure those goals still serve you, and if there's anything that needs to be deleted or added to that goal list. So that's basically the 5 areas that I would like you to look at when you are doing your mid-year career goal review. And again, this is something you should really do at the minimum every 3 months. But again, we're here at a 6-month mark, so I want to make sure at least it's on your radar for the upcoming weekend, for this next 15 days or so. I would try to do this, and this way you'll make sure that you're on track for the next 6 months. And put on your calendar now to do this in September. Do a version of this in September. And and I would just monthly, even just keep a gauge on where things are at in these 5 areas. Because if you can course correct at any point through the period of these 3-month marks, you're going to have more of an ability to achieve the goal if you course correct early on when you notice that you might be behind in a particular case. So I think I'm just checking my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. Is there anything else that you would add? I would also just ask if there's anything else that you would add to this. And in the comment section, put a comment of anything that you might add, or if you have a question, you can also email me, or if you want to tell me privately what you would add, you can email me at lr@chameleonresumes.com, and we'll make sure that that I respond back to you, and I will thank you also for your contribution. And if you find that you do your review and you want some help to make sure that you are on track and have accountability to hitting your goals at the end of the year, I'm also going to put a link in the description box of how to reach out to us. Schedule a chat with a member from my team, and we can evaluate together if we can help you, if we're the team to help you meet your goals, in December. So there's going to be a chat to schedule an exploratory, a link to schedule an exploratory chat with us, and we can determine if we're the team to help you hit your goals in December, if you need a little extra help instead of doing it on your own. So again, Lisa Rangel, Chameleon Resumes, the premier executive resume writing company, and thank you so much for joining me today. Take care.